Let's solve the challenge question from our inequality word problems video. The question says, a student has already scored 42 marks in a test. He needs at least 60 marks in total to pass the course. In the examination, each question carries 3 marks. What is the minimum number of questions he must answer correctly to pass the course? Now, let's follow the same steps we've been using throughout this lesson. First, read the question carefully to identify the information given. Then, identify what the question wants us to find. Next, translate the information into an inequality. Then, solve the inequality, and finally, check our answer. So let's solve this. The question says, a student has already scored 42 marks in a test. Let's write that out. This tells us that the student already has 42 marks. Next, he needs at least 60 marks in total to pass the course. This is very important. We learned that at least means the value cannot be below the given number. So, at least 60 marks means 60 marks or more. In other words, his total score must be greater than or equal to 60. Now look at the next part. In the examination, each question carries 3 marks. This tells us that for every question he answers correctly, he gets 3 marks. But we don't know how many questions he needs to answer correctly. And that is exactly what the question is asking us to find. So, let's represent the number of questions he answers correctly by x. Therefore, x represents the number of questions he answers correctly. Now let's put all the information together. He already has 42 marks. If he answers x questions correctly, and each question carries 3 marks, the marks he will get from the examination will be 3 times x, which is 3x. So if we add this to the 42 marks he already has, his total marks will be 42 plus 3x. And remember, he needs at least 60 marks in total to pass, so the total must be 60 or more. Therefore, our inequality is 42 plus 3x is greater than or equal to 60. Now we've successfully translated the word problem into an inequality. Let's solve it. Our goal is the same as before, we want x by itself. First, we need to get rid of the 42, so we subtract 42 from both sides. Remember, what you do on one side, you must do on the other side. So we have 42 minus 42, plus 3x, greater than or equal to 60 minus 42. 42 minus 42 is 0. So we're left with 3x, greater than or equal to 60 minus 42 is 18. Now, we need to get rid of the 3 attached to x. So we divide both sides by 3. The 3 will cancel out, and we're left with x. And 18 divided by 3 is 6. So, x is greater than or equal to 6. This means he must answer at least 6 questions correctly to get at least 60 marks and pass the course. But let's check our answer. If he answers 6 questions correctly, and each question carries 3 marks, 6 times 3 equals 18 marks. He already has 42 marks. So, 42 plus 18 equals 60 marks. Perfect.